Okay, good afternoon, Coin Talk community. Today we have with Speakeasy here to speak about the project is Barrett, the CEO. So yeah, I suppose if we could just start with a bit of your background, Barrett, that'd be great in crypto.
Yeah, my crypto background is it's fairly limited, but my business background goes a lot further back in my development background, and I was always been focused on my main company, which is not in crypto but in technology, where I managed. I'm the CEO of that company, and I basically manage developers and stuff, and we've created a lot of different software and things like that. So it was just a natural fit to me, like kind of when I got into the crypto space, to instantly I was gravitated towards joining different teams and, as a part of some, very successful projects. And from that side, I was, able to just feel like, I want to just help and I want to contribute as much as I can to the space. And by just, lending, being an advisor and this and that. And I always felt like if I ever had some sort of idea or something that was going to warrant me going and creating a token, because I don't want to say anybody can, but most people can easily just go and fork a contract and deploy it, apply some marketing, and try to hype it up. But I didn't feel like I could really put my name on that, knowing that it's just, I don't want to say a pump and dump or this and that, or, I guess we call them shit coins or meme coins, or you could also say anything in BSC is a shit coin. Some people would say that, but I just wanted, to build something that was unique and, provided a lot of value. And finally, we kind of came up with the project we're going to be talking about.
Awesome, yeah. If we can go into, you've got the parlay betting that's coming in a week or so that's great for the project. We use Speakeasy Token to bet amongst each other, 0% fees, P2P betting DApp. How does that work for investors?
Well, there's going to be a little bit more details coming on that, but we're all friends here, so I might as well be able to talk about it now. So it is a peer-to-peer betting DApp, and it's completely decentralized. The only human element is I will have to enter the games in which we can bet upon, and then at the end, I will have to enter who won, right? And then it's automatically going to do everybody who won is going to be able to withdraw their winnings, and everybody who lost is not. But it's going to be very interesting in the sense that there will be zero fees. So unlike traditional sports books and betting sites, they charge, they've got a bookie fee. There's a lot of, not a lot, but there's some new products coming out that actually have, I can be the bookie or I can be the bettor. And the bookie's job is to win, and they get to set their own spread. And they get to take, and then the house takes a cut, but they get to make their own spread. And so they're the one who's setting the odds and trying to lure people into betting. What's really cool about what we're doing is we're taking the most popular spreads from Vegas and, all the other betting websites. We're kind of finding what is the most commonly used spread on, for example, the Super Bowl. I could go pull it up on, some popular betting sites, and I would just take that spread that is, most commonly used, and I'll enter that into our betting system and enter it into the blockchain. Like essentially I go to BSC scan and I say add bet, technically I'm going to be doing it through Remix because we won't verify the contract on this, for security reasons. But what I'll do is I'll open up Remix and I'll just go enter the two different teams. I enter the spread and I say what time the game starts. And I say what time the betting, what time the betting begins. So once the game starts, the betting ends and everybody loads in their bets. I feel like, that's the brief overview of it. The technical aspect of it, exactly how it works. I could sit there and explain for like another 5 minutes if you want me to, because it's a very unique bet matching system that makes it peer-to-peer. And so nobody's ever done anything like that yet, and especially not on the blockchain. And so,
great, yeah. If you want to go into more detail, with it being unique and everything, investors really like new things in crypto, and anyone that does a first in crypto, usually the project is very successful. Yeah.
All right. So essentially, what's going to happen is that there's going to be a minimum bet, and so that bet is going to be set. There's a minimum. You could call it a maximum and a minimum, but it's not really a maximum. It's a minimum bet of, let's say, we're going to say the minimum bet is 0.1 BNB. And you're using the Speakeasy token. So at the time that I create the new game for people to bet on, and we'll be creating them, at least one a day, because there's always something to bet on. If there's no sporting events, we'll bet on the weather. We'll bet on something fun. I don't want to say we're degens, but like in theory, it's fun. And so I'll enter the bet, and it'll, in the smart contract, if I have it set to 0.1 as the minimum bet, which is where we're going with this probably, and unless BNB moons or goes down really low, we'll change it. But now it'll convert that bet into Speakeasy tokens. And so it'll say, okay, your minimum bet is 1.9 million Speakeasy tokens, if that is what's equivalent to 0.1 BNB at that time. And you will go on and say, hey, I want to bet 5 bets on team A or team B. And then what it's going to do is it's going to show your bets on either the side A or the side B, depending on which team you're on. And other people now have to come in and they will place their bets. And as soon as there's one bet on each side, they're going to match and they're going to be locked in on the blockchain. So you can't remove that bet, and those are locked in. And eventually you'll have just keep getting matched bets all the way down. And if somebody bet late and they didn't have their bets matched, they'll just be able to withdraw those bets and take their funds out at the end. Like right when the game starts, because they're not actually in play, so they can have that back. And what's unique about this is that you're able to, by using the spread, right? So if one team has, this is just standard sports betting stuff. If somebody has the odds of winning, like, they're favored to win by like 10% or something, like in football and stuff, and team sports, there's going to be a spread like, okay, they have to win by 10 points. And so the same way that's so everybody can bet the same. Like I could bet, 0.1 BNB on team A and you bet 0.1 BNB on team B. But if team A is favored to win, I actually have to win by more points just to win this. So even though team A won, if they didn't win by enough points to meet the spread, then you would win. And so ultimately, the way that this would work is that each bet would have to match up. But I don't have to say, hey, would you bet against me? Or would she bet against me? Like, I might want to bet 10 BNB. And so I'm going to dominate all of this list. And now if you also want to bet on that same team, you're going to be after me on the list. And so we're going to need a lot of people betting on the other team to keep matching those up all the way down so that we all get our bets confirmed. So in theory, you could pretend like it's peer-to-peer, as far as legalities and taxation and all of this stuff is concerned. It is peer-to-peer. Each better is betting against each other, and that's why it's zero fee. You're just paying the gas fees. But the utility token that you're using behind it is the Speakeasy token, aka Speezy. So you're using your Speezy to do this, and they're matching. The bets are matching up. And so that's why it's important to get your bets in early so you're more likely to be matched up. And the odds are really the same. I mean, the way that these spreads work is that it's really a 50-50, unless your gut instinct tells you one team or the other is going to win. The spreads are really set up that you don't even have to know anything about sports. You could just say, hey, there's 100 bets on team A and there's only 20 on team B. Why would I go bet on team A? Because I'm not going to get matched. I might as well just go bet on team B and go root for that team because that's going to be fun. And that's really how it's all going to come down to. And then so we'll have the whole community will be there. We'll be, the score, this happened. Like, this is important. It could be a cricket match. And I'm like, to be honest, I haven't really ever watched a cricket match, but I feel like I'm going to be watching a bunch of cricket matches because it's going to be exciting as hell. Because now I've got maybe a couple $100 on it. Why not? It's going to be fun. And so,
what sort of sports betting will you have in the future? Yeah,
pretty much whatever the game of the day is.
Right.
There's no reason to load up every single game. In the future, we'll have an API and drive it. But right now, we're just trying to drive engagement and fun. It's not like, in the future, it could be the place where you could go bet on some obscure, European football, or AKA soccer. You guys could go bet on some obscure game versus each other. But the only problem is that we would have to manually enter that game and manually end it. And so if it's not bringing enough hype and whatnot to the coin, since it's zero fee, we'll have to wait for that. That's on the future in the roadmap via, getting it API driven and completely automated.
Okay, and will there be an option in the future for investors to be the bookie on the P2P?
There is that idea, but then if they're the bookie and they're, so probably no, actually. I do know that model and whatnot, but I don't necessarily see the vision for how that makes sense, because when an investor or a person is the bookie, they're not necessarily going to give the most fair odds. And then they're kind of almost loan sharking and almost luring a person into a bet where they don't have the best odds. And our whole model is that there is no fee. So the house or us as being the bookie, we're not making any money. We're just literally facilitating zero fee peer-to-peer bets that are like very fair.
So will the winnings be better for investors than other betting platforms?
Yeah, because there's no fee. Like, yeah, exactly. Like you might be paying 5 to 10%. And then you're also looking at, depending on where you live and how things are taxed, these platforms, when you win X amount of money, if you win over X amount of money, they automatically take that from you for your taxes. Whereas with us, it's crypto, it's Binance Smart Chain. So you're expected to pay your taxes at the end of the year on that. But in the meantime, you can continue to use that extra money instead of us holding it from you. You're actually able to continue to use that and to keep playing, because you're really just betting amongst each other. So it's a lot like an office betting pool, or, hey, all my friends are coming over and hanging out, like to watch the Super Bowl. And like, I got $100 on this team and he has $100 on that team, and we're going by this spread. There's plenty of people that do that all the time. And so we're just allowing you to use the Speakeasy token, pay a little bit of gas to enter these pools, so to say, if you want to call it a pool, and you're good to go. So those are those benefits there.
And you're planning to parlay tournaments in the future as well?
So the parlay aspect of it was you can parlay your bet into our other technology, which is our spin jackpots. And so let's just say you won, and a bunch of people won, and you want to go extra degen, and you want to take all of your money that you won or a portion of it, and you can parlay it into a bet that uses our spin jackpot technology, which is, it's all decentralized and on the blockchain. And basically we have, a beautiful wheel, and it spins and it picks the winner. And I'll get more into that, I guess, pretty shortly, because that's the main part of our tokenomics. It's not really our utility, but yeah, if you want to take your winnings and parlay it into, essentially, it's like shooting dice in the alley or something. It's pretty degen, like it's like flipping the coin, because the house has no chance to win, and but you're just basically hoping the random number hits you, and the more money that you have into it, it's like the more raffle tickets that you have the more, if I put in 25% of the pot, then I'm going to have 25% of the wheel. And so I have, 25% chance of winning the whole pot. So it's very simple, standard jackpot tokenomics, or not tokenomics, whatever whatever it would be if it was in the game. However it works, right?
Is there a profit cut from that, from the spin jackpots, the mega and the super spins?
No.
Okay,
Everything
great.
is a zero fee because we're not a casino. We're a speakeasy. I imagine in speakeasies back in the day, technically a lot of people are always asking, what is a speakeasy? I mean, during Prohibition era in like the 1920s in the United States, there was people, the alcohol was banned, right? Prohibition. And so they had to go gather at these kind of nightclubs and do illegal-ish things that were, so it involved like gambling and drinking and just being a community. And so we're really focused on that aspect. So it's a community. It's not a casino. And we're just having fun. And everything is zero fee. The only thing you need is the Speakeasy token to participate.
Yeah. Back in my youth at school, I was in the Speakeasy Bugsy Malone play. Yeah, that was a cool one for the kids.
Cool.
So yeah,
Nice.
if we can go into the tokenomics, then yeah, because it's quite unique. If you sell one B&B in 24 hours, the tax is normal, but if you go over one B&B, you get a higher tax rate. Yeah, so tokenomics, how that works.
Well, that's how that works. Is a lot of testing and a lot of testing, because I guess, you guys all just see the finished product, but to create that in a smart contract when it has never been done and to do all this stuff, it's been a challenge. And so this definitely is going to be, another thing that nobody's ever seen. I think the betting world hasn't, I hate to go back really quick, but when I look at how a traditional casino or a bookie needs to work, is he has to have the funds, right? Like if you could potentially win $1 million, I have to have that $1 million sitting here in cash, because what if you win and I don't have the money to pay you? So that's what's unique about the peer-to-peer bet matching system. It's like everybody's put their funds up and the smart contract is holding it. I can't withdraw. I can't touch it. It's completely decentralized and safe. And so what I say, that's never been done. How do I have zero fee? Because I'm not putting up the capital. I don't have anything to risk. It's peer-to-peer. And nobody's risking anything because somebody's going to win. If anything, you're just risking your team isn't going to win. But so that's why that's so unique. But yeah, the anti-dump tokenomics, where this part that hasn't been seen before. And I think it's going to set the standard maybe in the future of how tokenomics is going to work in these Safe Moon Fork contracts. If you sell more than one B&B in a day, you're taxed an additional 10% on it. And so let's say I do 2 transactions. Let's say it's the same as if I do one, but let me just say if I do 2, just to explain it better. If I sell one B&B, and it's my first B&B in 24 hours, it's going to go at a 13% tax. The second B&B I sell, or whatever quantity I sell after that, it's going to be taxed at 26%. So that's fine. Like, I don't want to have to penalize people, but other tokens have fairly high taxes on selling. Ours is going to be 13% if you want to sell one B&B a day. And what's cool about the tokenomics is, and how the contract is written, if you sell 2 B&B in one transaction and it's the first time you've sold in that 24 hours, it's actually going to do the math and be like, okay, well, he sold here's one B&B and one B&B. So it's going to figure out what's in between 26 and 13. So it's going to, in this case, average the tax rate. So it's going to calculate. So whatever you're selling, it's going to always give you a different tax rate unless you're already beyond that B&B on your second transaction, and it'll be 26%. So
it's a good idea, because if people are winning, say, 10 B&B in the parlay betting app, they can't just dump it all and affect the chart instantly. They can do it over a 10-day period and pay that 13%, or if they wanted to pay the higher tax, and then that goes back into the pot for marketing liquidity. How does the tax break down on the 13%?
Let me I'm sorry, I'm just pulling it up because I don't want to accidentally say it wrong. So the 13%, it's a 6% to marketing. There's a 2% dev fee, and there is a 1.5 goes to the mega spin jackpot. 1.5% goes to the super spin jackpot, and 2% goes to liquidity. And then on the extra 10% fee, 6% goes to the marketing, 1% goes to the mega, 1% goes to the super, and 2% goes to liquidity. So, we encourage people to dump. But I mean, and the best thing, to be fair, is the buy tax will always be 3% at launch, after launch, whenever. We will never change the taxes. So, I mean, I guess another thing unique in crypto is we can call them forever taxes. I'm not going to be just changing them willy-nilly. Like, I'm not going to let you pay tax and then it pumps up and then I'm like, oh, and you know what? Now it's zero buy tax, but it's a huge sell tax. And I don't know. There's just feels like that's a problem, I think, in the space right now.
And then you've got flash staking, which I've not come across in an AMA before, up to 0.1% of the token supply locked for 1 week, and you're offering a 1,000% fixed APR.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's actually a term that I, in the team, we made that. We've coined that new term, and it's because there's never been anything like that either. I know that's getting. At one point when you're trying to change too much at one time, it seems sort of reckless. But how
can you guarantee the 1,000% fixed APR though?
That's a good question, because we're only allowing 690 million tokens to be staked. We have a total supply of 10 billion, so that's a 6.9% of the total supply is allowed to be staked in any 1 week, and what happens at 1,000% APR is that you end up after 8 weeks of doing this, because flash staking works. I'll explain that in a second. I'll just finish your question. But after 8 weeks, we actually, all of that 10% of the supply has been redistributed to the holders. And so it works with a fixed 1,000% APR. And once it's over, it's over. And since there's a maximum of 690 million tokens that can be staked each week, and a maximum of 10 million tokens per wallet or per person, if you will. That says if everybody stakes the max, there's only 69 people that can stake each week. And after 1 week, the pool ends, and there's a 24-hour period of waiting until the next pool starts. And there's a countdown, like a little timer. And then as soon as it hits zero, you're like, let me enter, let me get in. People are racing to get in, so it's a game, So we've gamified staking. So we're definitely not saying it's a part of our core tokenomics or long-term strategy. It's sustainable for 8 weeks. It's a fun promo to get everybody into the token, to have more fun, because it's just, why can't staking be a game too? And that's why it's guaranteed the 1,000% APR. It's a fixed APR, but it's very limited availability, because it's meant to be just another kind of degen fun aspect of it while we're building up our I don't want to say clientele, but while we're building up our holders to build the betting community.
Yeah, great. And what's the size of the core team, and are you having audits before the launch or after the launch on Speakeasy?
So what was the second part?
What's the size of the core team as the first part? Yeah, and the audits. Are you going to have an audit before launch or after launch with Speakeasy?
Yeah. So we are definitely going to have an audit. I'm hoping that it'll at least be in process before the launch, but we have definitely been stricken just with some woes, as far as we've ended up having to get a new developer who was already a member of the team, but just switching over some of the main contract responsibilities onto him. And he's like an artist in the way that he's doing this. Like, I could go on for a while about how unique this contract is going to be. But let's, for example, we're going to be able to set a different tax rate for a different transfer rate, a different anti-dump rate, a different sell rate, a different buy rate for any specific wallet. And so it's like the customization and the abilities that this contract will have, we think is going to blow people's mind. We're going to have a maximum tax, a maximum total tax for buy or sell will be set to 26%, and a maximum round trip tax of 30%. So, and that means on both sides, right? So most contracts out there right now, they could easily set buy to 30 or 40%. You know, or let's say, you know, industry standard is maybe 30% max for buy, 30% max for sell. I like to call it round trip, where it's in and out, and we total that. So right now, our round trip tax is 16%, right? 3 in and 13 out. So that's equivalent, you know, to 8% buy, 8% sell. That's a really low tax rate. If you add in that extra 10%, that's like a round trip of, let's see, 26%, or no, 29, right? Which is still very low as far as industry standards go. But what is really cool, no, 16, 20, 26. I said it right first. I'm sorry. No, I said it right the second time, 29. So yeah, we definitely are getting, we're trying to get an audit that's going to be, you know, we have an audit partner already, which is this company called HedgePay, but I'm really aiming to get the CertIC audit and applying for that at launch, because, you know, we have, one of our partners or friends, I guess, is, we have multiple friends that are partners with CertIC that have already, you know, are prepared to look at the contract and everything, and have given us all the advice, you know, of what we need to do to make it completely CertIC friendly. And that means that, for example, we have a blacklist feature, and that blacklist feature actually gets disabled as soon as we enable trading. It's just to blacklist bots that try to bot the presale. There's no disable trading function. There's just zero way to honeypot the contract, the max taxes and all that stuff. So we just cannot wait to have it audited by somebody that actually goes line by line, because most audits out there aren't line by line audits. And so they won't actually be able to really appreciate what we're doing. And so definitely would love that. We can't wait for that. I'm just sharing why we're so excited about it. And right now awesome. In the team chat, there's about 26 people, just because, you know, I like to keep, you know, from advisors to just, to, you know, the larger investors that have a lot of opinions and these things. So I definitely like to keep everybody close, and that's so everything is transparent. Like every marketing transaction, every dollar spent is all shared with them, you know. And so definitely that is important to us.
Yeah, definitely. And it's a great idea, with the one BNB over 24 hours, you're protecting the diamond and investors. So there's not massive dips and drops. And also, you know, with more betting coming up, then people might say, well, I was thinking of selling yesterday, or I won't do today, I'll have a bet. And it just encourages the community to grow and to get long-term investors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's like it forces you to, it doesn't force you, but it just encourages people to be, you know, a gentleman. Like it would be rude if we said, hey, you know, you can't sell more than this, or like, oh, it's 30%, 35%. Like I've been seeing some 35% sell taxes, and it means I'm using maximum slippage at 49. And it just feels wrong, you know, to like hold people hostage into the token. And so we feel like, 13% on a sell is fine. You know, it's just, if tax is important to you, and, you know, let's say that the price becomes stable, then instead of you dumping your whole bag on one day, you know, just scale out a BNB a day. Just, that's what everybody would do to be like, not hurt a chart, because maybe that BNB you sell tomorrow is going to be worth more than the BNB you sold today, because you didn't create a dump. And then maybe you decide to hold on longer. And so, psychologically, I think it's just trying to focus people on how do you support a project by not killing the chart. And so I appreciate that you can,
It's a cooling off period in a way, like, you know, some people sort of go on tilt when they play poker, and they just throw everything in on the silly bets, and yeah. So just doing that's a great idea. And with the marketing, what's the plans after launch?
Oh, well, so on launch, what we're going to do is we're going to apply for CoinMarketCap. We're going to do a 48-hour listing. I know you're not supposed to say that stuff. So pretend, don't repeat that. This is recorded, isn't it? Well, when I say 48-hour listing, we hope that it'll be listed within 48 hours because we are already, our previous project, we are relaunching, but it's nothing like version 1. And, I imagine that we will be talking about that as well. This is why I kind of said, we should probably do a little bit more of an extended AMA only because there's just so much to talk about, as you can see. I imagine, if this was like our version 1 token, we would probably have run out of things to talk about already because we haven't even gotten into the spin jackpots yet. But yeah. We were definitely listed on CMC and CoinGecko, and we dabbled in, we trended number 3 on CoinMarketCap. We definitely want to spend the big bucks on the marketing. But, excuse me. But the thing that's interesting with this is that we now have sports betting and betting on, let's say we could bet on politics. We could bet on this. So let's say that there's a big election coming up. Oh, well, we're going to say, we could pump out PooCoin ads. We could do targeted Facebook ads. Like, who do you think is going to win? Do you like Binance Smart Chain? Do you care about politics? Do you also like gambling? Oh, I bet if we target ads to that person saying, hey, come bet on this using your Speakeasy token, that person is going to be highly interested and want to come check us out. We're launching, obviously, on the 8th. On the 10th is when we're dropping our betting dApp, only because why launch everything right on the first day? Let's let whoever doesn't listen to these AMAs or have any clue what's going on and just wants to get in on the whitelist and whatnot, let them buy and sell and get out. Give us the 48 hours basically to launch our betting dApp. And guess what's coming up on this weekend? The Super Bowl. I don't know. It's probably one of the biggest sporting events, around. And so we're going to directly target a lot of ads, saying, who's going to win, this team or this team? And bet on it with Speezy and whatnot. And so we actually just, instead of just saying, oh, this coin just launched, you see that ad all the time everywhere. But we're actually able to directly target and advertise the betting app and what it can bring. And so I think it's going to just be a lot different than what people have seen before as far as marketing goes. We just have a lot more opportunities given to us that way.
Awesome. I can open it up to the rest of the team if anyone's got a question. Barrett at Speakeasy.
Hey, Glenn. Yeah. Hey, Barrett. I like the way you're doing things.
Thank you.
I know you're building something new, and you mentioned you have a lot of people on the team. I imagine you did a lot of testing too, and the way you're trying to build a sort of a nice community where people get to enjoy each other and have fun, and just hang around. I'm all for that. And maybe you can tell us something. You mentioned some mega spins, super spins, something like that we haven't touched upon. So that got me a little curious. If you can go into that a little bit for us.
Yeah. I apologize. 1 minute. My laptop just decided that its battery is low, and I apologize. That seems lame, but it'll take me 1 minute. I'll run. I can still hear you guys, though. Sorry, I'm not actually usually. Yeah, so I'm not actually usually on the video here. because I like to walk around and pace around and stuff. But so yeah, we've got these jackpots that are very interesting. That when we started off the first version of this, it was just called the spin token. And everything going on with it was just these jackpots, which have actually been reworked and redefined quite a bit. And so the idea was everybody has a lottery token. And how do you win a regular lottery token? Well, X percentage of the tax goes to the pot. And then after X amount of transactions or at every week, any wallet that has more than, usually it's a pretty low number, like 0.001% of the supply is eligible to win the lottery. But it's like, well, what if I'm a whale and I have 1% of the supply? Do I have more chances to win? And the answer is no. You just should have bought in lots of different little wallets. Well, that's a pain in the ass. The other problem is, okay, when they do their lottery drawings, maybe they do it live on stream, right? Maybe they go and they take the top 25% of holders or something and they put it in. Whatever the version of mechanics that they do, it's not decentralized. It's not automated. Who knows how it's, sometimes they definitely feel rigged, right? And if they also just don't encourage you for doing anything other than just holding. So eventually it's like, as a new holder, I don't have any chance of winning this lottery because everybody else has the chances of winning because now there's 6,000, 10,000 holders. You have like 1 in 10,000. So with the spin jackpots that are now featured on the Speakeasy token, the only way to enter the jackpot is by buying the Speakeasy token. So when you buy in, every 0.01 BNB that you buy, you're given 1 credit, aka 1 entry into the jackpot, into the mega and into the super. So once I finished explaining how the jackpots work, I could explain the difference is between the super and the mega. But so essentially, when you buy in, now you go into the jackpots, and you can see when you buy in to spin 3% of the 3% tax, half of it goes to the super and half of it goes to the mega. So we are really focusing on building these jackpots, right? And so now we've also established the only way to get into the jackpots is by buying the token. And that was one of the things that was really unique and different is when you buy in on PancakeSwap, it actually interacts with the smart contract, and the smart contract interacts with the jackpot contract to say, hey, he just bought 0.3 BNB on here. So now give him 30 credits in this game and 30 credits in that game. And those are obviously customizable. And on the DApp, it'll show you what the rate is. But we've been at 0.1 for quite a while. So it's all very transparent. Then you can see your bets showing up in the DApp. And you can see your wallet address and what percentage chance you have winning, and so can everybody else. And it'll show your wallet on the wheel, and it'll show the percentage, like, how much you have. Like, it could just be a little slice, or it could be a big old chunk, if you were the biggest buyer. And so it's kind of like an endless buy-in competition, versus them having to be manual, right? And then what happens is on the super spin is every week. So at launch, everybody's going to be buying in. And in 1 week, there's going to be so many little people on this little wheel. And it's going to just be this gigantic, huge better list, if it's anything like our first launch. And it's actually really exciting. So in 1 week, and now it's going to be all in the Speakeasy token. We used to have it in BNB, but in 1 week, as soon as the timer hits the end, the smart contract is automatically going to tell the wheel to spin, and it's going to spin for everybody, and it's going to pick the winner, and then it's going to automatically send them their Speakeasy tokens. And so completely automated. I couldn't stop it. I can't add a credit to myself. I can't add credits for my friends. I can't remove credits. The only thing that can interact and make changes to it is the smart contract. And that's why it's 100% decentralized. And that's what makes it extremely unique. And guess what? What if you sell one token of Speakeasy? What do you think happens? Well, I'll tell you. You're out. Yeah. Yeah. And so that was actually our problem on V1.
Who's there actually, Barrett? Your camera.
I think he's definitely frozen.
Huh. That's so sorry. They
Playing up today,
yeah. Definitely kicked the power cord that was beneath my feet. I will I'll talk to you. I'm on my phone. I'm gonna just reconnect to the video because that was kind of fun. But yeah, so technically you're out at that point. There's nothing that you can do. And the way that it works in theory is that you've actually just been blacklisted. Oh, not from the contract or anything. That's a loaded word in this industry. But you just can no longer buy in. You could buy in, but you no longer receive credits in that game until that game is over. So, and the reason for that is it has to do with gas optimization, because on the version 1, what happened was that to remove your credit, there were so many bettors that to remove one credit, it was actually ended up costing so much gas for the seller. And so if anybody was around for that, they would have, they're going to be like asking, why? How is it so much better this time? And yeah, now there'd be a 0 gas cost extra to sell, because it just actually maybe it's like 2 cents extra gas when you sell that. When you have a credit, it just says, hey, this person is no longer eligible to win. And the next time they buy more on PancakeSwap, it'll say, oh, if they're on this list, don't give them any more credits because they can't win anyway. And then as soon as the wheel spins, it clears that list and it starts fresh. And so that's also goes back to my main point. If the only way that you can enter the jackpots is by buying in during that current period. Because as soon as that game is over, it all starts fresh again. And yeah, the only thing that doesn't start fresh again is that it actually ends up giving all of the money doesn't go into the jackpot at once from those taxes. It actually only takes 1/3 of the funds and it adds it to the jackpot. And then as soon as the jackpot, and it takes the other 2/3 and it puts it into the jackpot reserve. So as soon as somebody wins the jackpot, it instantly seeds the next jackpot with 50% of the reserve. So if you run that math, it'll actually be the same jackpot 2 times in a row. And then, maybe volume's going up and you're building up more in the reserve, because usually what happens is your whole jackpot was all of your launch volume. So your very first jackpot is huge, and then they just get smaller and smaller. So we actually have what we call a perpetual jackpot technology by limiting the funds out and all happening through the smart contract. It's just going to extend the fund much longer. So we can actually sustain the buy-in competition with the jackpots. And I should let you guys say something or respond on that aspect.
Yeah, I was just listening in. It sounds like you guys are building something really robust and sufficiently complicated, so people can't really copy it, which is pretty cool. And
hard to copy,
I just remember you were saying earlier that you don't want to put everything forward, right? And I remember that I saw that you have a DApp coming out, and naturally I thought, okay, the DApp is going to be for the betting and whatnot. But that got me thinking. It's what else are you guys doing and not telling us? It's any inside scoops or anything like that. And yeah, I'll end it there. I'll let some investors take it over after this.
Well, yeah, what I can explain too is. I remember how we talked about, that's the super spin, that's weekly, right? maybe I should give you guys the scoop on the mega spin. So the mega spin is a spin that happens daily, right? And in the mega spin, we actually, not we, but Spinny, who is our fictional character, you know, and everybody's lovable friend. He's like the spin wheel with legs and arms and eyes. You know, he looks a lot like Clippy from the original Microsoft days. And, you know, he was definitely our inspiration for Spinny, a.k.a. why he's Spinny, just like Clippy. But he has a 90% chance of winning on day one, and that drops to 85% on day two, and so on. But the pot size, it's getting the same amount of taxes as the super spin. So what happens is you're very less likely to win on the, you know, there's only a 10% chance that a real person wins on day one, but if Spinny wins, all the funds carry over to day two. So the pot just keeps growing every day, and the odds that a real person wins keeps getting better. And so that's just going to kind of keep constant buy pressure and allow us to have a spin every day versus having to wait a week for the spin. So you get everybody who buys in that day is part of that daily spin, and then they're also entered into that weekly spin. So just to have a little bit more fun, just a little bit more degen, and a way to kind of spread the jackpot money out over a longer period of time, you know. And then you combine that with, the flash staking. You know, we are using a third-party staking platform, which is HedgePay is, you know, the partner for that. But they wanted us to do staking with them, and I said, we don't want staking. It doesn't really make sense with our token. We're more of a gaming token and this. And so, you know, I just kept thinking about it. And in like a couple of weeks, it was like, wait a minute, what about making a game of it? And they actually created a whole custom dashboard for this platform, you know, to show how many people have staked. They've just reworked all the smart contracts and stuff. Like the guy's a complete genius, you know, otherwise they're doing so many things over there. But when you guys see the flash staking platform, and I think that flash staking might actually catch on and become a thing that other people are going to go to them and want to get that flash staking portal. Or I just think there's just the beautiful thing about BSC and smart contracts and stuff is you could just keep creating new ideas on top of things. And you just, you know, it's not all about marketing and that stuff, but at the end of the day, it still is, you know. So we're still going to do meme coin marketing, but we have, you know, community-based utility where everything is using the Speakeasy token as the currency to run everything. And, you know, to me, that's very unique and kind of awesome. And I mean, I haven't even told you guys like one of the big surprises, I guess, that's coming up. But I agree with you. I think we should take some. We've gone over the parlay, the betting DApp. We've gone over the spin jackpots. We've gone over the anti-dump tokenomics, which are brand new. We have gone over the flash staking. And so those are our main four things. I haven't released our super special secret thing that we're adding as well. But I definitely think it's a good time to open it up for questions and to see where else I could be taking this.
Yeah, we've got lots of questions coming in. Let me just catch it.
While you use some questions up, give me a second to try to get back on the video here.
Simi, you had a question for Barrett at Speakeasy. Go ahead.
Yes. Thanks, Glenn. I see the video. As well. Good. Speakeasy, Barrett. You have a lot of stuff ready to go. I have two quick questions. First thing I wanted to check, which I generally check with a lot of casino tokens, because not all jurisdictions around the world legalize online gambling, and some of the jurisdictions have strict gambling laws or licensing regulations. So is there any extra regulations that you need to play around because you are in the gambling space? And the related question is, have you set up any legal entity to handle the financial reporting and account control activities because you are in the gambling space? That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, so good question. One of the most important things to note here is, like, when people say not financial advice, not legal advice, I just need to say that we are not a casino. We are a speakeasy. And we are, and we tease that, yeah, it's a place for illegal gambling, haha. But yeah, it's really not. It's actually a place where you use the Speakeasy token to perform peer-to-peer bets and all of these things. So everything is zero fee, and therefore there's no illegal profits for us to take from gaming. Essentially, I'm just providing, like, hey, you want to come over to my house and you want to have a poker game with your friends? You want to come over to my house and watch the Super Bowl and trade your dollars back and forth? I'm not charging you anything to do that. So therefore, we're not a casino. We're not taking any profits from gaming. We're not doing anything of the sort. And so we're just allowing you guys to do that. And so for that reason, we're not a casino. We're just a club that you can use the Speakeasy token to do these things. And yeah, we've had plenty of counsel and whatnot on this. I mean, yeah, call it a gray area. Worst thing they could do is tell us to stop. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't be here on video saying the things and whatnot if we thought that there was anything that was actually wrong with what we're doing. Because at the end of the day, it's just like an office betting pool. It's So that's the beauty of it. And why on earth would you do that? Why would you do zero? Well, I don't understand why people would charge fees or try to have an online BSC casino. You already take a tax when people buy, a tax when people sell. All we're doing is trying to provide value and to increase the price of the Speakeasy token for the investors. So why wouldn't, our utility is that we're making all of this stuff work zero fee. Also, we're going to, how can you compete with that anyway?
Right. That makes sense. So it's not something we need to be worried about. I have another quick question. What I'm thinking is that kind of watching your presentation, what I'm thinking is for someone not into gambling or betting, just cannot participate without basic understanding of betting or the rules, casino rules. One still have to take time out to understand how in general the crypto deposits, how to get BNBs in their wallets, and to verify, even for thinking of the betting, how to verify the bets on the blockchain, etc. And so how long it may take for someone who just started taking interest in this space to really understanding a platform and use it to their benefits?
Well, if you could figure out how to get the Binance coin, which is the hardest part, right, to get some smart chain, believe me, trying to explain it to all my friends and family, you got to get it, got to get in here. I'll give you guys some whitelist spots. So I don't mind spending the time trying to explain to people how to get the currency and whatnot. But I clearly see how that is difficult. But the coolest thing is you buy on PancakeSwap and you're already entered into the jackpots. All you have to do is now go to the DApp and check it out. And then wait for the spin, and then you automatically get the money sent directly to your wallet. And so the spin jackpots are a no-brainer. That's super easy to use. As far as if you have any interest in sports betting and whatnot, then if you were able to connect to PancakeSwap and you were able to buy the token, all you do is you go to the DApp and you just, connect your wallet and click bet on whichever team, and then put in the amount that you want to bet. So that part isn't very complicated. But for those who don't have interest in sports betting and, they don't want to take advantage of trying to enter into the flash staking games, they're still going to reap the benefits of just being a part of a token that has massive hype and a lot of people coming into the community and a lot of actual real utility that actually has the zero fee concept, which is just why on earth would anyone go make a zero fee casino? in any other world, right? You have to. Why would anybody else make a business out of creating peer-to-peer bets? What, for advertising revenue? Zero fee stuff on the internet doesn't exist anymore. So all you do as an investor is you're like, I want to come in and invest in this because I see the potential of it, whether or not you want to bet on sports or whether or not you want to bet on the weather, or, you know, maybe we put a pool on there and say, hey, you know, Kim Kardashian's having a baby. Is it a boy or a girl? Maybe people want to bet on that. You know, I don't know. I mean, we want to have bets that tailor to everybody's interests and just have a lot of fun. And so, you know, by having a large community and helping people understand how to run these things, but the no-brainer, the easiest part of the world is when you buy in, everyone's going to be there waiting for the spin. You know, we have a 5% giveaway wallet, so we're going to be just total degen things like, oh, first person to spin sevens on the silly little emojis that you can do, whatever it takes to just get, you know, community engagement and kind of have fun. I haven't even said the big surprise that we're going to actually add as well. But yeah. And I guess one other part to add extra to that is we're going to be developing more peer-to-peer games. So whether it's not, you know, that people can bet, not bet, but like, you know, fund with money. So maybe we want to do chess. Maybe we want to do checkers. Maybe we want to do something else. We want to have something that has a little bit of skill because we already have our B&B spin game, which we will actually set to use Speakeasy. So maybe it would be a good time that I could share my screen and show you guys how the DApp works for the spin game.
I will let others ask their questions. I'm good with your answer.
Yeah, but let's still pull that up though. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share my screen here. Oh. But to be fair, it was like I said, my computer is being very uncool. All right, you guys can see that?
Yes.
All right. So essentially, when you get to the app, the DApp, you know, it's going to ask you to connect your wallet. Yeah, and this is why I wanted to restart, because my MetaMask is not opening. So pretend that I'm not connected there. This is kind of, that was the only thing that was pretty frustrating. But I'm going to go from my my phone. I could actually share my, yeah, my problem right now is that for whatever reason, if I restarted my computer, then it's going to say like 30 minutes to do updates because, yeah, I can't show you that part. But so there's 19 minutes left and people would be able to hit bet. But when I go to connect my wallet, okay, we'll try again. Let me try to type my password in here. I don't want to waste. Then it's doing this. So, yeah. So this is what's really nurking me right now. So actually what I can do is I'll show you this. I'll show you an example of it. Sorry. In the meantime, why don't we could queue up another question.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, running out of time here, but yeah, we'll take one more.
Didn't we I think we set the AMA for an hour and a half, I thought.
No, we've got a lunch and it's a 60-minute AMA, it says.
All right. Well, I'll have to talk to Master on that one. That's fine.
Okay. Syed, you had a question? for Speakeasy? Barrett?
Yeah. So I want to ask, how did you guys come up with the name Speakeasy as a project, and what is the story and motivation behind it?
Well, a speakeasy is, in the 1920s, there was prohibition in the United States. And so after we came up with the name, we realized that it's not a 100% internationally recognized term. But a speakeasy was a place where people were able to gather and drink alcohol when alcohol was illegal. And so in the speakeasies, it's a secret place, where people are doing things that are really, they're like gambling and they're having a lot of fun. And basically that's kind of where we came up with it, because, we're not a casino, but we're a community that is focused, has like betting and the spin jackpots. We're actually, here's the big reveal, is that we're actually going to be in 2 weeks after launch, we're going to actually have full multiplayer Texas Hold'em that you can use your Speakeasy tokens in with no rake. So we're going to be a complete poker platform for everybody, and everybody's going to be on voice chat, and everybody's going to be playing Texas Hold'em all the time, and it's going to be pretty amazing. And so that's actually just, everything was already awesome, and now we're adding Texas Hold'em to that. And I don't know. I've been kind of addicted to it lately on another token. And the one thing that lacks is the community and whatnot. And so we're definitely bringing that to our own token. So that's going to be cool. But
okay, interesting. One more question.
Yeah.
Yeah. So are there any limits on number of bets per day depending on the losses or profits?
Excuse me?
Are there any limits on bets per day depending on the losses or profits?
On the bets per day, like on the sports betting?
Yes. Sports or events or...
No, there wouldn't be any limits per day, just because you're not betting against the casino, you're betting against other people. So as long as you've got somebody to bet against, you know what I mean, there would be no big deal.
So there wouldn't be any safety feature if someone is losing so much amount, he should be stopped from...
I see. Like he's not being responsible. I thought you were asking if you can't win too much, but yeah. I mean, I see what you're saying in that way.
Information. Yeah, we are running for an hour and a half. Sorry about that, Barrett. Yeah. It's edited wrong on the schedule, so we've got another 22 minutes, so 25 minutes around, because we started a few minutes past, so we've plenty of time for questions. So Aisha, let's see if I can get to these names.
Well, I just rushed my whole presentation. No, I'm just kidding. On that other part, I'm just teasing.
Yeah, I'll get Aisha up. Aisha, you had a question for Barrett, yeah? Speakeasy, go ahead.
Yeah, can you hear me, Glenn?
Yeah.
Hello. Okay. You have mentioned about flash staking. My question is that investors who are able to stake their tokens for a week, will they be allowed to stake token again in next week?
Yeah, it's just if you can get in time. It's like when a pre-sale is highly contested and that everybody is trying to get in, it's going to be a lot like that.
Okay, one more question. And you have mentioned that there will be a contest of speed each week. Only the investors who are quick will be able to get their tokens staked and earn rewards. My concern is those regions where there is low internet and server issues, they won't be able to stake and win in contest of speed. How will you guys make sure that this issue doesn't affect the investors?
I mean, that's a fair question. I don't know how that's necessarily gonna play out, to be honest. Yeah, that feels kind of bad in a lot of ways. I don't really have I think about something we could do with that, but the concept of it is like, for us to have that 1,000% APR. Otherwise, you're kind of doing a low APR staking, and it doesn't really have that appeal that we were kind of going for. But yeah, what you're saying, yeah, I don't, kind of stumping me on that one, as far as how well that'll work.
I'm having trouble connecting to Telegram.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I asked that question. Thank you for answering.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Okay, we'll move on. Last Campachi, you had a question for Barrett? Speakeasy, go ahead.
Yeah, they were so pretty good questions, right, by people. All right, just saying we don't have much time, I guess, still. So you mentioned that you will integrate a politics, like who is going to bet, a voting system with something like a third party, like in future. Well, what I can say is that it's sort of like, I know you have dabbled with securities and you've talked about it before, but even that is not allowed, right? Polling is a different thing. Taking bets on a election is not allowed, even if you're doing from third country that is not involved in this. Just stating it out. That's not my question. Just stating that. If you have not seen it, just saying that it's a thing. You can't, even if you're doing it, many states in US plus in other countries, they don't allow it. Taking elections as bets. Polling is different thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, my question is that you also mentioned while in your introduction that you sort of want pre-seeders to get out early, like 2-3 days. Who wants to get out?
I'm just saying they're gonna, you can't really control that. I wish that everybody would hold, right? But people just have that mentality of just dumping on the chart. If they didn't, life would be so much better and everybody would, be a lot better off. But there's just no good reason to pay, to launch with everything on that first day, for those reasons, because you need to have a reason to pick the chart back up after they do that. But if they don't do that, I mean, I would be thrilled. It's not that I want them to. So just take that part back. I'm sorry.
No. I'm okay with that. That is normal how a developer should be feeling, because that's what happens, at least in the BC space. So that's what I'm saying. Like, why haven't you considered going to some other chain, like most probably AVAX, where IDOs are more prevalent and more successful? Because you can easily do that, and your investment will be safe. Plus, the money you get from the initial investment will be there for you to develop upon things, like in future. Like, have you not considered it, or you have just want to be on BSC for? Just asking, very casually.
We definitely have on the roadmap to bridge to another chain. And I think that the benefit of bridging to another chain would be to kind of have the liquidity like separated between two different chains, and you could have to bridge the jackpots. And actually our dev is actually, like highly involved in that ideology of how that you would be able to do this kind of bridge. And there's a lot of emerging technologies that would allow that to be possible. And so that is something that we would, highly be considering doing, and you definitely would be able to, let's say, like, this guy's betting in the AVAX version, this guy's betting with this version, and we would, be able to merge everything together. So that is in the roadmap for it. We've just kind of been specialized, in this chain, and, going to another chain it's something that was thought about, but yeah, I mean, definitely the community and stuff is much larger in BSC, and since it's community based and we want to have as many people available, that's kind of why we're not doing that route yet. But I do know that those chains are, I'm invested in, quite a few other chains and tokens on them as well. But for now, we're just going to be on BSC.
The question basically was about why not start there, but definitely because BSC has more popularity, that answers it. Well, thank you for answering on that.
You're welcome. Can everybody? What do you see on my screen right now? I kind of wanted to show this video real quick.
I think you're on YouTube, and you're halfway.
You can see both screens or just one? It's doing both.
One screen, yeah.
Okay. All right. And let's see if we can hear the audio. Like, so this was, I was it just like, since my wallet, my game, everything is broken on my thing right now. I didn't want to tell everybody to come in and play. Obviously, it would work if you did. I could connect on my wallet from the phone and do the bets. But I just kind of want to show you what it was like at an AMA we did on December 30th, where everybody from the community that was watching, they came and started betting with our DApp. Like this shows the super spin, the mega spin, and the B&B game. But what was interesting on here is that 17 people came in and they bet B&B, and then this is just going to show you how the wheel spins and what it looks like when you're playing with just B&B. But I'm curious if you guys can hear the system audio. Can you hear that part?
Hear the audio now? No.
You couldn't? Well, hold on. When I hit play, and you guys can't hear that part? It says to display my system audio. Okay, fine. Well, I will just explain it. Let me just fast forward here. Sorry, okay. They went and put this up. But what you guys can see here is the wheel has, I have the countdown. I can easily just go to the end. Sorry, I guess. I'm sorry. Why? Oh, I think they came back to it. Yeah, they came back to. Okay, yeah. Here we go. So here's 13 seconds left for the spin. I was gonna pause my audio. So basically, what happens is when people are waiting for the spin to happen, you're gonna be able to see how many bets. Like you'll see how much is in the pot. In this particular game, there's 1.6 B&B in the pot, and otherwise, you're actually gonna have, it's gonna say how much B&B worth of Speakeasy tokens there are. And so this was an example of this is a game that people play that has nothing to do with tokenomics, like versus the super and the mega. And so since it's on the blockchain, it's going to say we're preparing the spin. It's waiting for everything magical to happen. Like you can see on the left, I get up and I was like, all right, I can't wait for this. It's too stressful. And each color actually represents a different person. So you can see that some people have on the left, they have a 25% or a 20% chance of winning. And in this case, somebody actually ended up winning 1.75 was, apparently the payout was 1.75 B&B. And, they were all excited.
You've been running this since November, I think, have you? Yeah, so way before the token launch.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And, that because it's a relaunch as far as that goes. Because the token launched as spin, and that was, we had a lot of learning curves and stuff, and the jackpots and everything has just been completely evolved. So I've actually been trying to get all of this and developing and whatnot on this for much longer than that.
Oh, I see. Right, we can go back to the questions. Kana, you had a question for Barrett? Speakeasy?
Yeah, hi there.
Hi.
So I have a question about flash staking. As you know, flash staking requires to be the fastest, and but there are different internet speeds all around the world. So how will it be done fairly? Do you have some mechanism for it, or the one who has the fastest internet speed will be the most advantageous in this case? Thanks.
Yeah. So far, the feedback and whatnot that we've had on it is definitely been, this is new feedback and new viewpoints that I'm hearing now. It's the way I see it too, it's there'll be a lot of pressure and stuff, but I imagine people, you've got to be around and you've got to be ready to jump in, and it's going to be probably, maybe it doesn't instantly fill. I imagine if you're ready and you're there at the moment to send in, you do the transaction, you have a good chance of getting in. as it kind of grows in more popularity, I do think there will be a benefit, like you're saying, probably to the people with a better internet connection, just kind of like getting into a pre-sale or this or that. There's really no way to solve that part. But yeah, it's definitely like an added bonus for the token. It's in no way, it was like a coin flip whether or not we should even offer it in the first place. But it seemed like it was going to just give us extra, the ability to lock up, some holders, for a week, because you can't, even though there is an early withdrawal penalty, you actually can get out just because, we're not terrible people in that way. Yeah, but I see your concern. I think it's definitely something I'm gonna have to talk over with the team and whatnot, and see, But I, as far as I'm concerned, there's, or that I understand, I can't really see any way to change how that aspect works.
I think you could, yeah. I mean, if the community was sort of saying, "Oh, it wasn't fair, I didn't get in," or something, you could offer a lottery system where the 67 people, is it, or 69 people would be picked randomly over a week, and get manually put into the staking pool, something like that, after the first few, if people are thinking, you can always change it up maybe in the future.
Yeah, there could be like a whitelist system where only X amount of wallets could be like whitelisted, and so maybe, and then leave the rest up to like the battle royale to get in or something. Definitely something I'm going to bring back to the drawing board, I think, given that feedback, because it's really actually amazing. And I think one of the things that we do well, and if you talk to anybody from the version 1 on, I don't even want to call it version 1 because Speakeasy is completely different than Spin. We're just featuring the Spin jackpots and keeping that brand for just the jackpot games because they are so unique and they have their own dApps like I was showing you. We changed the way that the jackpots worked a lot because there was always feedback, and I like to take the feedback and to implement it, because so when I say it's a product, the project is very community driven. It is. And so just hearing those concerns and those things, I really actually, I want it to be fair and fun for everybody, but I do want it to feel like you won something and you had that ability to get in each week. And so making it maybe more, incorporating maybe the Spin technology, like, okay, if you show up at this time, you can get entered into the wheel, and those addresses, the people who somehow could win priority, to get in sooner. So I'm gonna have to talk to the developer of the staking platform to see how viable that would be.
Let's see for questions.
Thanks, Bob.
Sorry, you're welcome.
Thanks. Okay, it's spinning around quick. I have to be fast. Red Star, you had a question for Barrett at Speakeasy. Go ahead.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hey guys.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Hi. My
Can you
question
hear me,
is
guys?
about cryptocurrency actually. Beyond
Yeah.
Let's have a look. Holy boy, are you there?
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
My question is beyond the method for payments, what are the other functions of cryptocurrency?
What are the other functions of the Speakeasy token except all the previous utilities that I listed?
Yeah.
There's none. I mean, it's just you're going to have meme coin level marketing tied into all this functionality and utility that we're providing. So we're not just bringing people in to buy it because the chart is green and it looks nice. They're going to buy it because of that, of course, like the meme level marketing for it. But you're going to stick around. You're going to buy in for the jackpots. You're going to stick around for the betting. You're going to stick around to play poker with the community. You're going to stick around for the flash staking in the beginning. And then we're going to continue to develop more peer-to-peer games, like I was saying, that you can use your Speakeasy token to play on. And so everything's focused around peer-to-peer, zero-fee gaming between people. We don't need to do, for example, maybe we might find, some sort of, it's all focused on things like what can you do, like, without putting, not playing like a crazy internet video game, like, can we play, you want to play checkers? Do you want to play chess? Do you want to play, that wheel that I was showing you, like the spin where it's just in the currency that doesn't have to do with the buy-in. Just how can we just gamble and play against each other and have fun? And, to me, gambling could be playing. I don't think poker is gambling. I think it's a game. I think it's a sport. Just like playing chess, if both people put up $10 each or whatever, and if this guy has like such a high rating and thinks he's really good, well, then he could say, hey, I'll put up $20, but you only have to pay 10. If you beat me, you get 20. If I win, you get if I win, I get $10. If you win, you get $20. And so based on that, then users can challenge each other. I mean, there's just so many things that we can do in the future with this. And what we've shown is just the ability to constantly innovate and develop things. And so the long-term strategy of this is it's going to be a hub, and we're going to be setting the standards. I mean, if not like setting the standard by our smart contract and how amazing it is, and the customization and the anti-dump tokenomics. I mean, I think any one of the features that I've presented, I could actually form an entire ecosystem, and not even an entire ecosystem. I could just make that the only part of the token and market it and make a successful project. But by combining everything that we've listed and continually doing things, I think we have a real potential to keep on going for quite a while.
Awesome. So there's been lots of people joining while we've been talking, Barrett. We've been over 200 in the VC. That's awesome. Our investors really enjoyed the talk today. So yeah, if we can do a recap over the project, the Speakeasy project, for anyone that's joined halfway through. That'd be great.
Okay.
Do a recap.
All right. Yeah, of course. I would love to. So basically, the Speakeasy is like, we're not a casino. It's not financial advice. We're not a casino. Everything is about zero-fee, peer-to-peer betting. And it all starts when you buy the token. When you buy into Speakeasy, a.k.a. Speezy, the Speezy token. So when you buy Speezy, you're automatically entered into the Super Spin and the Mega Spin jackpots. All you have to do is watch on the DApp. You can see what percentage you have of winning. The more Speezy that you bought during that current game gives you a higher odds of winning. It's completely decentralized and fair. So it's an endless jackpot giveaway system that only works when you buy in. So we're incentivizing people to buy in. When people sell, more taxes go there. When you buy, taxes go there. So it's constantly building up. And that gives buy pressure and a reason to buy the token. It's an endless contest. So that's phase one, or part one. Part two is, now that you're in the system, you can use your Speezy token to do peer-to-peer betting primarily on sports and other random topics. I've actually just learned that it might be illegal to have any sort of gambling or betting related to politics, even though there's plenty of other blockchains that do have betting on politics and whatnot. To be honest, that's not really something I really care too much about, is betting on politics. But, for example, a presidential election or whatever could be fun to bet on, but it doesn't matter. The idea is that we could put bets on anything, and they're completely community driven, and they're verified by myself, and because I'm the one who has the private key to enter the games and to end the games. And we do have a couple other like trusted and doxed teammates as well that I'm going to trust with that responsibility to enter and end games by saying this was the final result on this. We're using completely fair, like the most popular Vegas spreads that basically determine In the end, it's a 50-50 if you pick Team A or Team B. Whether or not Team A has a 90% chance of winning, they have to win by like 50 points, if it's going to be a complete blowout for that team to actually win for the better. Even though the team won, they have to reach a certain amount of points to do it. And so in the end, it's like you bet $50 on here, I bet $50 on here. It's a completely unique system of bet matching that keeps it all peer-to-peer. So the house can never win, and the house doesn't need to provide the liquidity. Part 3 that makes this really amazing is that the anti-dump tokenomics. We're the first ever with the anti-dump tokenomics where it's a 3% to buy. It'll be a 3% to buy no matter what, whether or not you buy in at launch, whether it's after launch, whenever. We're never going to change the taxes. That's a forever tax system. So 3% to buy and 13% to sell, up to 1 BNB a day. If you want to sell more than a BNB in a day, the first BNB that you sell will be taxed at 13%. The additional BNB that you sell will be taxed at 26%. So if you sell, 5 BNB in a day, even if it was 5 BNB in one transaction, it's actually going to calculate the difference. It's going to do for the BNB at 26%, 1 BNB at 13%. So you're going to average that tax is going to probably be like 23% or whatever that math comes out to, but you get the idea. So the anti-dump tokenomics are just really important to the system. Then there's the flash staking, which is 1,000% APR, limited available staking. That's going to be in 1 week pool, a 1 week pool. And then there's a 24-hour cool off, and a timer is going to be going. And then it's going to give users the ability to ape in to that. So it was going to be a race to get in, and it still may be, because I need to just talk with our development team and stuff on the staking portal and see if there's any abilities or what we can do to combat, people that have worse internet connections and stuff. Because personally, yeah, it does feel bad. It doesn't feel inclusive of those with poor internet connections. And that's something that we're going to be talking about. However, the flash staking concept is, very new and experimental. It's never been done, and that's coined by us. The bet matching system for the sports betting is brand new. The buy-in tokenomics, where when you're buying in, you're automatically entered into the jackpots, and it's credit based on how much you bought in during that period. So that's brand new. And yeah, so between the sports betting, the jackpots, the anti-dump tokenomics, and the flash staking, all of that is brand new, never been done. Our smart contract has maximum taxes of 26%. It's just ready for Certic to ape on, because the blacklist is only there for pre-sale, and after trading is enabled, there's no more blacklist. There's no way to end trading after that. There's no way to blacklist anybody after that, so it's completely safe. I mean, I like to call it a rug-proof contract. Some people say, oh, you shouldn't say that, because I don't even like to hear the word rug anywhere in a presentation. But the whole point is it can't be rugged. Like, there's just nothing, anybody could do with the smart contract. So there's no reason to renounce ownership, because otherwise I do need to be able to change some thresholds. Like, say the BNB price goes up to $2,000, I would want to reduce the minimum amount required to enter the jackpots, certain things like that. And then on top of all of that, I actually announced that we're going to have a Texas Hold'em live multiplayer platform within 2.5 weeks of launch. There's going to be a whole community based around it. We'll always be in voice chat. There'll be high stakes and low stakes. We'll have tournaments. It's going to just be really amazing. I've been testing the platform a lot, and it's going to be great. It's just like every other online poker platform. But instead of playing against a bunch of poker pros that play online all the time and use all the calculators and statistics, it's going to be within our own Speakeasy community. So it's just going to be a lot of fun. It's a good place to learn how to play poker and just make new friends and have a good time. And then we'll be developing more products and features as we go, because if anything, we've proven the ability to be creative and to get development work done and to have a good time. And so we're going to be introducing more peer-to-peer zero fee games that we can introduce to the casino, or to the Speakeasy. Someone said casino earlier. It's not a casino, because casinos take a cut and the casinos profit from that. We're just providing value to the Speakeasy holders, aka Speezy, aka Speakeasy, as the currency that's used to play. And wow, so that was my quick recap. This is Reed. Something my microphone wasn't working.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, we always say to anyone listening back to the recordings, we can get you safely over to the official Speakeasy Telegram. And if you've got any more questions, you have the VC open there sometimes for investors.
Yeah, what I was going to say is I'm actually going to open up the voice chat over there, and I was going to just see if we were going to just run some trivia on what we did here, and that I was going to give away some whitelist spots if that was okay to invite people over there.
Yeah, we haven't gone over the pre-sale. So when is the pre-sale? What's the minimum, maximum soft cap, hard cap for investors?
Yeah, so the pre-sale is going to be on February 7th at 5 p.m. UTC. There's going to be a 1 BNB maximum contribution and a 300 BNB hard cap. I would say roughly 50% of it will be whitelist, and then there will be a public aspect to it. Do not use a bot. We will be on DX sale. Anybody using a bot, I will blacklist, and I won't even look back or think twice about it. Because we don't need people coming in and buying on X amount of wallets and just ruining the pre-sale. That's like the biggest problem that I've seen on Pink Sale and DX sale. But guess what? That's why our blacklist feature only works up until we enable trading. When we launch 24 hours later on February 8th at 5 p.m. UTC. And so, yeah, I just say, please do not use a bot. It's not going to end well for you. And I won't have any sympathy.
Thanks very much for coming today, Barrett. Speakeasy project looks a really great project for our investors to get involved with. So it's been great talking today, and I wish you and the community all the best in the future. And yeah, like I say, anyone listening back to recording, we can get you over to Speakeasy if you've got any questions or listening to recording in the future. I'll send over a copy for you in our shared chat to share with your community, and we'll pin that in our main chat. In a minute. I think we've got spin the wheel actually though. We've got a wheel as well. Let's see, Actio.
Yeah, let's give away something.
See if there's a few prizes for questions and spin the wheel, I think.
Yeah, and I'd like to throw a whitelist spot into that one if you'd like.
Okay, that'd be cool.
And then just after everybody, I was going to say I'm going to be live on our voice chat over in the Speakeasy community. So I'd like to invite everybody just to come over there if you have any more questions. And I'm also going to be doing a little bit of trivia, and I'm going to give away 2 more whitelist spots to those in the voice chat over there. So just letting you guys know.
Okay. I'm not sure if Ladizzle or Act is available too.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm grabbing the list right now, Glenn. Just give me a few seconds.
I think Barrett wants to give a whitelist spot as well, so it'd be 3 spins, I think. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, you can do that.
Well, we could just do all the prizes on Spin the Wheel today. Then. So was it 4 and then 1, so it'd be 5. Yeah, I'll do it that way.
Yeah, let me get the wheel up for everyone here, and I'll share my screen with all the names and everything. People can see. We collected the names of people on the VC, probably 70% through, something like that. So got a bunch of names in here.
Just gonna refill my cup.
Oh my God! Let me let me share the screen. I forgot to share it. About to spin.
There we go.
Can you see the wheel? It's up, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm spinning it for the first winner. Let's see. First winner is Mr. Barrett. So how many spins are we doing? Are we doing 2 for prizes and 1 for a whitelist? Or
I won, really?
Oh my God, that's you. Oh my God.
First time has ever won it.
All right, let's.
Congratulations, sir.
This is getting more bullish by the second. No, just like that doesn't count, obviously.
Okay, we'll respin it then. Sorry about that, guys. All right. Okay, so the first winner. What are the odds of that? Well, One
Pretty
out of
amazing.
150 or something. So.
Well, that happens if I ever win on our jackpots and stuff, then everybody like throws a fit, and there's nothing I can do because it's all decentralized.
So Mr. Hamza is our first winner.
Oh, congratulations, Hamza!
I'm grabbing everyone's IDs and we'll post them in chat afterwards for everybody to see. Let me shuffle it a bit again, and this is our second winner. And then you said for our third winner we should do the whitelist one.
I think so. Yeah.
4 in a whitelist. So.
Oh,
yeah.
4 in the whitelist. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So five in total. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, we have Fatima here. This is our second winner. We shuffle it a bit. For our third winner, we got Mr. or Mrs. Kyla Gamble. A fitting name for what we've all been talking about. And let me remove this one. We shuffle it again. And for our fourth winner,
That's a big wheel.
well, big attendance, big wheel, right?
Hey, yo, all right.
Mr. Harley Quinn, or Mrs. Harley Quinn.
You know, you can go to the results side, and they're all going to be listed there, right?
I know, but what if it bugs? I know how you do it. This is my way. Okay, so our fifth winner is going to be for the whitelist spot. So this is when you have to concentrate on winning the spin, guys. Let's see. Our fifth winner. And the whitelist winner is just an angry pancake.
Angry Pancake. Oh, that's my boy. Woo.
Well,
he won a whitelist. Hey, respin it. He already has a whitelist.
He already has a whitelist? Oh, there you go,
yeah,
boys. So one more.
Do another one, yeah.
Yeah, we'll do another one. So let's see. So this is actually the one for the whitelist. Let's see. And we have...
I can't believe it. We're like...
Dua, congratulations. I'm writing down your name here. Okay, so that's it for the winners. We have like 4 cash prize winners and a whitelist winner, and we'll post that in the main chat like in a few minutes, guys.
Wonderful.
Thanks for coming, Barrett.
Hey.
Take care.
Thank you guys so much.
Keep us
Come
updated
on,
on Speakeasy.
Yeah, and then I'll just say one more time, just come over to Speakeasy Token. This is our Telegram name. It's in the chat. I'm going to do some trivia, so if anybody wanted to win, I'm going to give away a couple more whitelist spots. So we'll keep it simple and kind of quick over there. I'll just take any more additional questions. I'm going to do a little bit of trivia with me and my team. We're gonna quiz you guys to see what you guys learned and whatnot, and hand out a couple more whitelist spots, and that'll be fun. So other than that, thank you guys so much for hosting.
All right, yeah, thank you very much.
Amazing.
Take care.
All right, take care.